streaming live from the Jays from the Couch YouTube channel and also its Facebook page and on Twitter at Jays from Couch. You are checking out the views from the On Fek Circle presented by JaysFromTheCouch.com and the Jays from the Couch radio podcast. This little misadventure comes to you live every Tuesday, now at our new time during the season, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And lucky for you, this isn't the only show that Jays from the Couch presents both on the YouTube channel and other media outlets. On Thursdays, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, Karen Suter hosts Sunny Side of the Dome, the perfect blend of Toronto Blue Jays fandom and just terrific baseball insight and knowledge. Karen puts on a terrific show. That's Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. But of course, none of this would have happened without the mothership, the Jays from the Couch radio podcast, hosted by our founder and senior editor, Sean Doyle. It happens now on Mondays during the season. We're trying to accommodate the Blue Jays the best that we can because we realize that the larger part of the audience is going to come and watch us first. And we don't want you guys missing any of the game. So you might miss a pitching change the way that the Blue Jays are setting up their pitching. So we don't want you to miss that. So it's Mondays, 6 p.m. Eastern time. If you don't catch the live stream, you can go to Apple or Google or Stitcher or Spotify, Podbean, anywhere finder podcasts are carried. That's where you're going to find the Jays from the Couch radio podcast. So make sure you tune into that as well. I am your Feckless host, Steve Fek, back for another edition of the On Fek Circle. No schlocky sports code or sports writer's cap this week. Serious baseball talk. There are some things that need to be said. And as shy as I am, I'm going to probably come out and say them here this evening. We will have a This Week in Baseball, which has just changed. I have to kind of go on the fly with the news that Teoscar Hernandez has tested positive for COVID-19. He is out a minimum of 10 days. And again, let's hope that he works his way through it, that he's healthy enough that he really will not suffer major consequences. But that's a tough setback for the Blue Jays lineup to have to come through. And then at the end of the show, a little bit of Blue Jays history in Blue Jays way. As they're coming up and playing the Royals, I have a couple of tidbits that happened actually this week that relate to prior Blue Jays and Royals games, and we'll talk about that. But the first thing I want to talk about, well, actually, we probably should recap the last week, and then we'll get to my ranting and raving after that. The Jays dropped a tough game to the Yankees to open this 3-game series. Tonight is Jameson Taillon. Of course, tonight, as I record this, if you're watching it later, you'll have to have a flashback. Maybe drop some brown buttons off a piece of paper and have a flashback to what we're talking about. But it's Jameson Taillon and Hyun-Jin Ryu. Should be a great pitching matchup. Last night, Robbie Ray coming back from the IL, from the bruised elbow. He probably did more than a lot of people thought that he would be able to do physically, but he didn't seem to have any problems. He kept the team in. They were facing Garrett Cole. It's no shame to lose to Garrett Cole. They play tonight. There's an afternoon game tomorrow before the Jays fly out to take on the Kansas City Royals in Kansas City for a 4-game series. This past weekend, a very interesting series. I mean, I had the privilege of doing the game recap for this Saturday night / Sunday morning rain-delayed contest. I got to type the last words right around 2:30 in the morning or so. 15-1, the bats exploded. I mean, they finally just seemed to be able to put all the different things together. The thing that struck me was there were no home runs, not by the Blue Jays. The only home run was hit by Anthony Rendon to give the Angels their lone run. It was a picture-perfect offensive explosion, key hits, good base running decisions. They took advantage of certain miscues. I mean, they usually Gold Glove caliber shortstop Jose Iglesias of the Angels committed 3 errors, 2 in the same play, the play that went on for the eternity, it seemed, as far as the review goes. Bo Bichette broke out. All kind of great things happened. So it was they didn't win the series, but they did have that statement game before the rainout on Sunday. Let's see if they can bounce back tonight against the Yankees in Jameson Taillon and try to even up this series and pull even record-wise with the Yankees. Now, you might notice on my hat, in my head, I have a retro Buffalo Bisons cap. This is like an alternate cap they wear during the season once they're actually ever able to play again. But this is like back to the old 50s and 60s logo of the Buffalo Bisons. And it's been announced that the Bisons are going to open their minor league season on May 4th in Trenton, the former home of the Trenton Thunder, a neat little minor league ballpark. It'll be a fun place to watch a game, but it left me thinking about the baseball fans of Buffalo, New York, and Western New York. The Jays are going to move to Salem Field at some point. They should just come out and say, we're going to do it, the first series in June, because they're putting in millions and millions of dollars in renovations at Salem Field. I don't think that Rogers Communications, out of the goodness of their heart, unless it's some kind of public service that I'm not aware of, are putting that money in there so that the Bisons can have an improved facility as a thank you for basically letting them play there last year. This is where the Blue Jays are going to play until the borders open up and until restrictions ease in Canada. As things keep occurring, as Teoscar Hernandez is the exclamation point to this statement, COVID-19 is not under control, especially not in the United States. It would not surprise me if it's not late in the season before the provincial and federal governments are going to let the Blue Jays play in Buffalo. So the good news is the Blue Jays are going to have a true state-of-the-art facility and a ballpark they're familiar with. The Rich family, and they earned their name, Rich, in Buffalo and Western New York, they're going to have really a major league ready facility thanks to the Blue Jays and them being gracious enough, not that they had any choice, to move their 2021 season to Trenton. But what about the Bison season ticket holders? Or the Bison fans that really, in the minor leagues, you don't have a lot of season ticket holders. I was trying to get a number as of 2020, even though the season was canceled, or as of right now, and there's really no numbers available, but they probably have around 3,000 or so season ticket holders in Salem Field, a stadium that'll seat probably about 21,000 after the renovations, maybe a little bit more. What about those fans? The Blue Jays are getting theirs because they're going to have a home field. Relatively, basically in their market. There's a sizable amount of Blue Jay fans in Western New York. I think it's fair to say there are more Yankee and Met fans, and even a smattering of Indians fans, but there's a lot of Blue Jay fans in Western New York. They're the closest major league team to the Buffalo Niagara Falls metropolitan region. The Rich family and the city of Buffalo is going to have a showcase minor league stadium now. You're going to have a minor league AAA franchise playing in a major league caliber stadium. So they win. What about the fans of Buffalo? Not to mention the players on the Bisons, because just like it's going to stink for the Blue Jays to have to pick up, move to Buffalo after an extended stay in Dunedin, and then potentially face a third move in the season to go to Toronto. They get paid enough money. I don't feel that bad for them. Minor league players are getting paid better than they used to, but still, a lot of these guys, aren't multimillionaires. They're having to first they had to locate their family because they're going to maybe be playing at AAA. And now they're going to have to go to Trenton, New Jersey, higher cost of living. Housing is not going to be as readily available. It has all kind of things. So yes, I feel for the Bison players as well, but it's the fans, because basically the average Buffalo Bison fan is not going to be able to pay to get into the ballpark to see the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, last year it was exciting. Hey, we finally have Major League Baseball, professional baseball for the first time since 1915 playing in Buffalo. But there were no fans, for the most part, anywhere in Major League Baseball. So it was more of a watch on TV with pride, chomp on some wings, pound some Genesees. This is awesome. This year, the tickets are going to be limited, at least at the beginning, and I don't see New York going overboard like Texas or Florida on things. And it's going to be season ticket holders and season package, ticket package holders. They're going to get first priority. And it's going to be corporations who buy big blocks of seats that are going to really get almost all of the tickets. The average fan in Buffalo, in Niagara Falls, and Batavia, and Orchard Park, you name the city, okay, Lockport, even Rochester is not that far of a drive. Syracuse isn't that far of a drive. They're not really going to get a real shot at seeing the Blue Jays playing in their home stadium. They're going to be on the couch watching it on TV, just like all of us. And I'm sorry, that stinks. I understand COVID restrictions. I'm all for that. But if you're asking the fans of a city to basically surrender their team, the Buffalo Bisons, and minor league fans have a different mindset than major league fans. They're not as fickle. They understand the game, that players come and go and they get traded, they're sent up, they're released. They grasp that. They understand that. So I think the bond between, let's say, a city and a AAA franchise like the Bisons, that's even stronger. And now they're playing in Trenton, which is not an easy drive. I think you're really asking a lot of those fans, and I would have to say, in this case, okay, season ticket holders, you're able to apply for refunds. You're eligible for all these different extra bonuses, but just because you're a Bison season ticket holder does not mean that you're going to be a season ticket holder, and you shouldn't get first priority for tickets at Salem Field. It should be open to the general public. Make it an adventure, and make it engage that fan base. Win them over from Met fans and Yankee fans and Indian fans and whatever else they're rooting for. Bring those fans into the ballpark. Will they listen to me? No, nobody listens to me. People on Jays from the Couch don't listen to me, but I'm used to it. It's okay. But this is really what should happen. So I wore this hat tonight for you, fans of Buffalo, people in the Tonawandas and, north, south, east of the city. My heart still aches for you, Canadian Blue Jay fans. It is your national team. And you're not going to get a chance to come down and see the games because of the border restrictions. But I did want to give out a special little hang in there to Buffalo baseball fans. They are great sport fans. They supported the Bisons from the beginning, okay, even when they were playing an antiquated War Memorial Stadium, which was just basically, it was a rat trap without the cheese. Okay, it was a tough ballpark to go and watch baseball. They came out, and when they opened up what is now Salem Field, it's had a whole bunch of different names. They set minor league attendance records. So my heart goes out to you. You deserve better, baseball fans of Buffalo. But thank you for giving the Blue Jays a home. Time now for this tweak in baseball. And in this segment, we basically talk about something that needs to be tweaked, something that needs to change. And I avoided the lineup last week and went to a more broad-based concept that was more major league wide, because I think everybody was beating it up a little bit too much. And plus the fact you didn't have George Springer, you didn't have Lourdes Gurriel, you didn't have Teoscar Hernandez. There was a lot of fluid pieces that were missing. So I shied away, but watching the first week of games, this lineup on some nights, like Saturday, and this evening's lineup, they're built to succeed. Most of the time, it's built to fail. We've come out, we've talked on the podcast. I'm sure you've talked among yourselves. I've said Cavan Biggio should be the leadoff hitter. I get when George Springer is healthy, which ideally will be either in Kansas City or after the Royal Series. He gets activated. I get your $150 million man. He deserves a little respect. He's earned it. You can lead him off. But he's not playing right now. So why is Marcus Semien your leadoff hitter? Why? Okay, I mean, he's had some nice at-bats and he's produced, homers, and bat him third, bat him fifth, bat him sixth. Put him in a run-producing spot in the lineup. And I think by accident, it's not really fair. I mean, I'm sure that they had some numbers to show this, but moving Bo Bichette to the 2-hole where he is tonight, where he was Saturday, I think we stumbled upon something that we really weren't expecting. His approach at the plate, working both sides of the plate, driving ball to all fields. I think Bo is ideal in that 2 slot, especially behind a guy like Springer. So, and Vladdy, who's batting third tonight, he has earned the right to move up into that. Your best hitter is your 3 hitter, as a rule. Yes, cleanup hitter is always more glorified, more of a slugger. So now there's no Teoscar, so you're going to have to mix and match. They've had Grichuk in the 4-hole. They're going to have to get creative. Why not drop Semien to the 4-hole? And Biggio bat 5th like he is now, and Lourdes 6th. I think they need to do that, and they need to set the lineup so that when Springer comes back, you are firing on all cylinders as efficiently as you can. Marcus Semien is not a leadoff hitter. Okay, if he's going to be the Marcus Semien that he was in 2019 that everybody clamored about when the front office spent $18 million on him, then you put him in a lower down in the order, somebody that's going to drive in runs. He seems to have that power stroke back. He seems to, for the most part, have a good approach at the plate. Bat him in 3, 4, 5. Go Springer 1, Bichette 2. Vladdy's earned the 3-hole. He's had some just amazing at-bats. He leads the major leagues in on-base percentage with 2 strikes. And that's telling you a hitter has got his act together. That's telling you that he possesses plate discipline when you're doing that. And he's in the top 10 in OPS and OPS plus. So he's your 3 hitter. I don't have a problem hitting Semien 4. I don't, I would think that if Tio comes back, he's going to be the 4 hitter, but I don't mind batting Semien 4 and then bat Biggio 5 and Lourdes 6th. I think this is the time, especially now with Teoscar being out and out for at least another 2 weeks of games. It's going to take him some while to get strength back. You don't have COVID and just go out and play a doubleheader the next day. Okay. It's going to take a while for him to get back into the swing of things. No pun intended. let's get a lineup that's going to work. And it's going to be your regular lineup. I understand, we have to mix and match. You only have a 3-man bench. Okay, so it's not like you have a whole bunch of people that you're having to work into the lineup to get at bats. And quite honestly, Rowdy Tellez has to prove that he belongs in the DH slot. Because I think Randall Grichuk has made the case that he should be getting regular at bats. So I say let him play right field because he knows how to play right field. He's a great defensive outfielder. He's okay in center. He's a great corner outfielder. Move Tio to DH, which will also make it easier on him when he comes back. I know he doesn't want to. Tough. You're getting paid enough money there, Teoscar Hernandez. You can play where we tell you to play. Not me personally, but Blue Jays would be saying that. This is the time to tweak the lineup. Get it set so that when Springer comes back, he'll be back before Hernandez comes back. And then Hernandez comes back, you have got a lineup that is well-oiled, that is comfortable in its roles. Right now, I think we're putting people in roles that they're not really suited for. Biggio, I think, was trying too hard in the 2-hole. You would think that with his approach at the plate and his on-base skills, he would be okay in the 2-hole. But I think Bo Bichette is, and I never really thought of it, I think he is ideal 2-hitter behind Springer when he comes back. Put Simeon down, let him earn some more of that $18 million, let him maybe put him in some run-producing spots and slots. Let's tweak the lineup, get it ready now, because that lineup is what's going to have to lead you to the playoffs, as well as our starting rotation is done. Over time, if they're going to keep limiting innings, and you have at least 2 spots where the starting pitchers are going to be either limited. Nate Pearson, they're not going to let him come out and throw 6 and 7 innings right off of the IL. They're going to baby him. They're already been babying him all along. It's going to be maybe even more restricted, at least for the first month or so after he comes off the IL. He's their big stud for the future. They're going to baby him. And then you have the 5th spot in the rotation, which is, who knows? We know it's not Tanner Roark. He's in the bullpen now. My man, Tanner, if you're listening, sorry, buddy. You've made your last start for the Toronto Blue Jays. Unless there are more serious injuries, you're going to just bide your time until they either DFA you or they trade you for as part of some other deal. Ross Stripling, too inconsistent. That was kind of the knock on him in L.A. You just didn't know what you're going to get from start to start. And then the other wild card is Ryu will sometimes ask for that extra day. So really now you're going to have 2 and sometimes 3 spots in the rotation that are going to require more bullpen innings than you would get when, let's say, Matz is on his game and Robbie Ray is on his game and Ryu's on his game. Okay, so now you're potentially having to use that bullpen more and more and more. That is going to wear them down. There are guys pitching in roles they're not used to. Merriweather and Romano give us great hope for what's going to evolve during the course of the season. But it's those middle guys and guys that aren't used to pitching, piggybacking or opening or whatever it is. I think that is going to become a problem more from a fatigue factor than an effectiveness factor. But let's get the lineup together. Going back to the lineup in this tweak in baseball, that's what's going to carry you to the playoffs. If you're a playoff team, Toronto Blue Jays, it's going to be your offense that gets you there. You're going to just have to outslug your opponents in the AL East, and that's a tall order. Boston's hitting. The Yankees will hit. The Rays seem to have timely hitting. So you never quite know what's going to happen there. But it's going to be the offense. Let's get it together. Let's get it right now, so that when Springer comes back and Hernandez comes back and you've got all of the people that you expected to be there from the opening day on, they'll be able to lead the team and drive the team going forward. Our last segment, I call it Blue Jays Way, and it'll talk about Blue Jays culture in general. You know, the challenges of being a Blue Jays fan. As an American, being a Blue Jays fan, I say, well, I'm a Blue Jay fan. And they're like, what? 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 And people here in Pittsburgh say, oh, that's just because they were going to play in Pittsburgh. Well, yeah, that was last year. They might have played in Pittsburgh. But I've been rooting for the Blue Jays since the late 70s. So, it's just something that there's no rhyme or reason. Why do you pick a partner? You just are attracted. You just fall in love with them. I fall in love with the Blue Jays. Not Ross Atkins, not Charlie Montoyo, but as a whole, the Toronto Blue Jays, there's still big time love in Steve Fek's world. But I want to touch on 3 things in Blue Jays history that happened this week, and they all involve the Kansas City Royals. That is the next series after the Yankees. I know everybody's hyped about the Yankees. You got to start thinking about teams you might be competing for in a wild card. And even though they scoffed at my concept on the Jays from the Couch radio podcast last night, the Kansas City Royals are going to be in there in the wild card hunt. I'm not sure that they have the depth of pitching to get them into a wild card slot, but they've got a great lineup. They are situational hitters. They field well. They run the bases well. The Royals are going to be a challenger for anybody that's serious about a wild card spot. And I think it'll be another chance to measure yourself up against a potential playoff rival when the Jays take on the Royals. So now the first story, since we just went through the cancellation of the game in Dunedin on Sunday because of the weather, and a near cancellation on Saturday, so everybody's up in arms. Oh, we can't stay in Dunedin. We can't stay in Dunedin. Against the Royals, back in 2001, so 20 years ago yesterday, the Blue Jays had to cancel a game against the Royals when the retractable roof during a test before the game jammed. And that sent pieces 6 by 8 and larger pieces of the roof plummeting down to the field. So obviously, for safety purposes, they could not play the game against the Royals. They had to postpone that. But it's not just now that we're worried about stadiums for the Jays. At this point, I think the Jays would risk playing at the Rogers Center if the roof was jammed just to get back home after 2 years. But that happened in 2001, 20 years yesterday. Another big moment was Friday, April 16th, 1989, All-Star third baseman Kelly Gruber. Remember him? You kiddies probably don't, but look him up in your baseball reference or put down TikTok for a second and look up Kelly Gruber. He was good hitter, all-star caliber defender. Remember when the Blue Jays actually had a real third baseman? But anyway, he became the first Blue Jay to hit for the cycle in a game against the Royals, a 15-8 win. And to celebrate, his teammates bought him a tricycle. Not an ATV tricycle, an actual red tricycle to celebrate the accomplishment. So that happened this week back in 1989. And on this day in 1990, the Royals beat the Blue Jays 3-1. So why would I want to point that out? Is a very unique historical moment because it became the first time that the reigning Cy Young Award winners, in other words, the people that won the Cy Young in 1989, pitched in the same game for the same team and contributed to the win. Brett Saberhagen got the win. Mark Davis got the save. Well, we're out of time. Thank you for tuning in to the On Fek Circle. We're here every Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the Jays from the Couch YouTube channel, the Facebook page, and on Twitter. You can follow and yell at me on Twitter at US of Jays. You can also visit usofjays.net website. Always a pleasure to be here with you. Let's see how the Jays fare this week. We'll talk to you next week.